Christmas, well, for lots of people, means presents and food, but also wrapping paper and waste. And that's before you even think about what you're going to do with the Christmas tree after the big day. Joining us now, Laura Young, a climate activist who has an idea about how I can have a more sustainable Christmas. Laura, good to see you today. First things first, if this is the point at which you tell me I've got to wrap my presents in newspaper, we will be cutting this interview very short, because I've already done all the wrapping already. But give us a few ideas about where we might be able to focus our attention to make it just that little bit greener.
Well, if anyone hasn't done their wrapping, they could always just not wrap them, go a step further. I don't know if that cuts the interview there. But there's so many ways that we can have a sustainable Christmas. Even today on Christmas Eve, only with, a couple of hours left before. I think the big thing to think about is where the waste comes from. We waste about 30% more at this time of year, particularly looking at Christmas Day. The first thing to think about is all the waste that we will accumulate tomorrow, the classic bin bag that we all seem to have on Christmas Day. Think about when we are tearing open our presents that we might have, how we can save some of that, maybe save it for next year's wrapping paper, gift bags to be used before, Christmas cards that could be turned into gift tags or gift boxes, and really sorting through any packaging that we might have, making sure anything that can be recycled is recycled and anything that has to go to landfill gets put in the right place. A good tip to know is that any wrapping paper that might have glitter or anything like that on it, make sure that goes in the bin, not the recycling, because that's got plastic on it. We can also think about food. That's one of the big things we can do at Christmas time. I think people admit to about ordering more than 2/3 or kind of buying more than 2/3 of food than normal at Christmas time. So one of the best things we can do is try and reduce our food waste. I always think about some really creative ways that we can use up leftovers. Maybe I can tempt you with some Brussels Sprout Tacos or some Boxing Day pizzas. That face tells me you don't want to do that.
I'm so sorry, my director decided to put me on the telly there when you mentioned Brussels Sprouts Tacos.
Well, maybe I can tempt you with Brussels Sprout Pakora, mince pie, ice cream, lots of things. And of course, you mentioned about our Christmas trees, making sure that we put our Christmas tree in the right place once we've finished with it. Lots of councils have dedicated services to collecting them if you've got a real one, or maybe there's even some cool conservation projects. I know that here up in Scotland, we've got some really great kind of coastal sand dune protection projects for old Christmas trees. Or if you've got a plastic one and thinking about your Christmas lights, packaging things away carefully so that next year you don't have that moment where you open everything and think, oh my goodness, it's all tangled, it's all broken. So really taking care of the things, the decorations, all the nice things that we've put up in our houses, and really thinking about all of that.
I've got to interrupt, because particularly on the advice there about packing away your stuff. I mean, any engineer or cameraman who's worked with me at Sky knows I'm rubbish at rolling things up. So we had to buy some new ones this year. So this year, I promise I'll do that. But can we talk about presents just for a second? Because, of course, I work in television, so I have practiced my fake smile, my politician smile, many, many times. What do we do with the things that turn up under the tree from Auntie Doris that perhaps you might not want?
I think the best thing to do is still be grateful that you've got a gift. Giving gifts is so special at Christmas time. But think about what we can do with them if we don't want them. Maybe there's somebody else in the room that also has that look of a fake smile. You could maybe switch to get something that you would both prefer. Or maybe you can think about how you can give it away. There's lots of charities that are looking for particularly toiletries or clothing at this time of year. Or maybe you can think about a charity shop giving it away or selling it if it's something that you think has value. And then you could maybe raise some money for a charity. But there's loads of options for something that you maybe don't quite want this Christmas time.
And Laura, well, of course, and if you are going to re-gift it, wrap it in some newspaper, as you suggest.
Yes.
It was only the accent that saved you from having the interview cut short there. No, only kidding. Laura Young, look, really nice to talk to you, and I hope you and yours have a wonderful Christmas when it comes.
Thank you.